Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Brittany, welcome. Today is going to be about the Blackout Haunted House. Now, I did talk about McCamey Manor. The Blackout is similar to the McCamey Manor, but I would say it's less extreme. I mean, it's still extreme, but it's not as extreme as the McCamey Manor. So a little bit of backstory about the Blackout Haunted House. It was created by two guys named Josh Radel and Christian Thor back in 2009. Now, it is located in New York and Los Angeles. It originated in New York, so it's more extreme in New York. Christian is the director, and Josh is the theatrical production. He majored in that in college. So, a little bit about it is you have to pay $50 to get in. And as far as the 2019 rules go, I am reading off of my notebooks that you must go through alone. You have to be 18. You must stay on the paths at all times and follow directions at all times. They're actually marked white X's as the paths that you have to stay on. You do not speak unless you're instructed to. You don't touch the walls. You are prompted to do certain actions, and you must do what you're told. You have to wear protective masks and carry a flashlight, which will be provided to you. They say that this is for your safety, that you do as you're instructed. The safe word is safety, and which I like about that is because they actually do follow the safe rule, or the safety word, very much. So if you yell safety, you are instructed to be escorted out, and all actions do stop right then and there. So they do take you out if it gets too extreme. Once you yell safe word, there's no refunds and no other options but to leave. Another thing is that the creators keep an eye on everyone at all times for everyone's safety. Things that you will encounter during the blackout is fog, strobe lights, loud sounds, complete darkness, crawling, kneeling, stairs, mild restraints, water, sexual and violent situations, aggressive physical contact. And some of the reviews that are left on Blackout's website is that it is only 20 minutes long. They call it BDSM, which I wouldn't look that up. There are sadomasochism experiences that happen. It's not for the faint of heart. Psychosexual experiences happen. You're handcuffs, waterboarded, assaulted while screaming obscene things at you, which I wouldn't want that to happen to me. There is lots of nudity and simulated R. I'm not going to say the word, but it is a four-letter word and it starts with R. There's stories of people sucking on bloody hygiene products and waterboarding. Something that happened that a man describes his time at the Blackout Haunted House is that there was a man with a goatee that holds the flashlight in your face and quizzes you about your fears, which the thing about the Blackout is the directors or the owners, they will write you and see if you're a good participant for the Blackout. They will ask you every single question, you know, where did you go to school? Where do you live? What's your greatest fears? What you were going to do in the future with your life. They just want to know everything about you. So they do ask you what happens, like what your future is going to be about, and different questions for you to participate. And if they feel like you're a good qualifier, you'll be instructed to a location. You don't come a minute early and don't come a minute late, but they will instruct you. And then in the movie, which I'll talk a little bit more about it, something that happens is once they get there, they're actually pulled into the haunted house by somebody aggressively. The things that happened to him is that when the interrogation, he was pushed through a sheet of plastic and into a hallway, and then he had to follow the white line. He had to use a flashlight to see. And then he had someone grab him and told him not to move once in the room, because there are multiple rooms that you go through. And once in the room, someone else began stroking his face and jabbing him with something sharp into his neck, and he never saw it coming. Now, if it's referring to what happened in the movie, they basically tattoo you in a way, like, I don't know, I guess it's permanent markers that they use, but they also have the sound of a tattoo gun that they basically brand you, is what they call for the haunted house. Next, after that happened, it goes on for so long that some people report feeling as maybe the staff forgot that they were there. And you are met with a woman with a metal pail in the next room. On the screen, there is a reindeer having a stomach surgery. And then a woman is also mixing something and tells you to join her in the seat and makes you taste what's in the pail. The next room that you go into, a woman grinds on you after taking off your shoes and socks, which is really weird. He also said that while he was in the room, there were tons of shoes and socks that were laying on the floor with like condoms on it. The next room, after that, your hands are tied behind your back and a plastic bag is put over your head in a dark room. And so the man described it as he actually had to lift the bag up with his mouth to be able to breathe. And then you also have to jog in place, which is really weird. And then they force you to your knees as well. In another room, a man is screaming. Next room, there is the simulated R word. The man that's there that makes you watch it, he is naked and sit and watch on the floor, and there are condoms and shoes on it as well. So he actually is with a woman that's tied to a bed and simulating a sexual encounter while you have to watch it, which make you really uncomfortable. And then in that same room, he also makes you lie on the bed next to the woman that was happening to. After it's over, you wait in a well-lit hallway underneath an exit sign. And then there's a man with a staple gun sitting on the floor. The man is dressed like an usher at the movies. And he picks up the stapler and caresses it and puts it against his private parts and tells you to push the stapler. The stapler's unloaded, but it gets in your mind. So just thinking about having to do that to somebody and thinking that there could be staples in it really gets in your mind. That would really do something to me psychologically, because I wouldn't want to hurt another person, and that's how that gets into your mind. And then you enter the Vomitorium, which is what the guy calls it. The reason being is because there is a man, the man that was in the simulated R word, the scene makes you follow him into the bathroom and he vomits and makes you retrieve a key out of the toilet of which he vomited in. And that key comes later on into play because in the one room there's a woman chained up to the floor and you have to try and undo her. But there's also a lot of keys laying on the floor and you don't know which one unlocks her. She is screaming the entire time for you to hurry up and unlock her. After you get her unlocked, she runs with you to find the exit. You come face to face with the man who walked you into the storyline, I guess is what you want to call it, with Blackout. Like I said, again, this only lasts about 20 minutes, but it, I guess, feels a lot longer. Like I said, if you really want to go and experience an extreme haunted house, probably New York is going to be the one that you would want to go to. I'm not going to go, but I'm just letting you know if you wanted to experience that, probably New York is going to be the option to go. Now, I told you that there was a movie called The Blackout Experiments on Tubi TV, is where you can find it. About a week ago is when I watched it, and that was still on there. So basically it started out that the people, it was a documentary, and whenever you arrive there, they pull you into this place. They shove you against, from what I saw, they shove you against the glass, and then a few minutes later, there's a guy that comes and takes you. So while you're in that complete darkness, I mean, that really gets in your head because you don't know what's coming next. I mean, that would get in my head, not being able to see anything. And so once they pull you in to there, they make you run. And there's different things that happen in those rooms. Later on in the movie, they make you go to these different rooms, and in one of them that a guy was in, this woman sits on you naked, and she has this turkey and makes you shove your fist in the turkey. I don't know why, it's really weird, but she makes you shove your fist into it. And then in another room that happened to another person in the movie, they didn't show too much in the film, but like I said, if you want to watch it, I would suggest watching it. One thing that does happen, though, in the movie is there is one part where the older gentleman was in there and they got into his mind because they gave him a gun and there was a man screaming at him behind him, telling him to shoot her, and then there's also a woman screaming the entire time that's begging you not to, and it gets in your mind. He doesn't pull the trigger, but I mean, you don't know if it's loaded or not. It really gets in your mind, and it almost seems like a cult, because when people come out of the Blackout Haunted house, they are addicted to it. Like, they want more. They say basically it's because, like, in their childhood they weren't accepted and they didn't know, like, the answer no, and they wanted to follow the rules and things like that, is why they like the Blackout Haunted house. When they go to, they basically invite some of the participants to have an extreme haunted house location, but it's to their house. So whenever they go to their house, they go in, they throw this bag over their face, and then they tip them backwards. Say, what do you want out of this experiment? And they say, I don't know what do you mean? And they said wrong answer. And when they tip them back, they pour water into their mouths, and they ask them, well, what do you want out of this experiment? Or what do you want? And they still don't know, and they tip them backward, and they waterboard them again. And so then they make them go into their bathroom, and they turn on the faucet or the bathtub, and they're essentially trying to, it looks like, almost drown them. And then they make them go into their bedroom and remind you these people are naked. They make them take all their clothes off. And they go into their bedroom, and there's more people there. I'm guessing the first time whenever they waterboarded was probably the two creators, Josh Randall and Christian Thor. And then there's more people that are on the bed, and they're basically telling them that they have to say they're not going to visit Blackout anymore, that they're too addicted, they're not going to visit it anymore, which messes with people's mind, because if they're really addicted to this and they're getting something out of it, and then all of a sudden it's ripped from them, it really messes with people's minds. But like I said, go ahead and watch the Blackout experiments if you want. It's not that bad. It does show you a little bit more insight about the Blackout Haunted house. So I guess that's about it. If you like this video, let me know. Comment down below if you'd go to the Blackout Haunted house. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night. Bye.